And now, on to the Washington Current Review. This will be led by Mr. Frank Islam, who is the chairman of FI Investment Group, located in Tysons Corner, Virginia. Today, Mr. Islam's guest of honor is Mrs. Ekta Singhal. She is the founder and managing director of Nova Enrichment Academy. Let's see and meet her and follow this dialogue.
This is Frank Islam, Chairman and CEO of FI Investment Group, and your host of Washington Current Review, where we interview leading voices from business, from politics, that impact you, the viewer. Today, our guest is Ekta Singhal. Ekta, nice to meet you.
Thank you, Mr. Frank.
Thank you for coming to the show. So tell me a little bit about you, who you are, what's your background, and how long have you been here in this area, and then ask you a little bit about this thing you have, which is academy. I don't know what that means, so you explain to us a little bit later on. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Definitely. My name is Ekta Singhal, and I'm actually a fellow immigrant.
Fellow immigrant, like everybody else is.
Yes, I was.
So what do you think of all these bans of immigrations and all the attacks in the media and the immigrations in this country? This is not who we are, right?
Well, I think U.S. is a melting pot, and the foundation of U.S. is diversity. So I'm not a fan of
democracy.
bans.
Well, there's something going on in India also, and which way has become a little intolerant also.
That is true.
Yeah, go ahead.
As well. So I was actually born and brought up in New Delhi, India, and I did my undergrad degree in electrical engineering from there. And I was hired by IBM Global Services.
Wow.
And that's how I got a chance.
So did you get a degree from the United States also?
I did.
Where?
I actually got my graduate degree in computer engineering.
From where?
From George Mason University.
I'm on the board of trustees there. Very good. So good. So after that, what you did?
So that basically brought me to this area, and after that, I was really designing and implementing STEM solutions.
STEM is what it stands for?
So, and STEM is an acronym for science, technology, engineering and math.
Right.
I was doing that as well as training professionals in the corporate world for more than a decade. And in 2015, I started my journey as an entrepreneur and founded Nova Enrichment Academy that focuses.
So this is the name of your company. It's called Nova Enrich Academy.
Yes.
So what does it do? What does that stands for, Nova? What does that mean?
So Nova, actually, it has twofold meanings. Nova means new star in Latin, as well as Nova is a very recognizable name in this area because it also stands for Northern Virginia.
Okay, so you have been in business for 2 years.
Yes.
What are the challenges did you face to become an entrepreneur? Is entrepreneur a continuous journey? Is entrepreneurs so they're made or they're born? What are your thoughts are?
Well, I was definitely not born as an entrepreneur, so I will just talk from my personal experience.
Yeah.
I think I had the skills, relevant skills to bring a change in this area of education. And with a lot of support, I was able to become an entrepreneur. And like you said, it is a continuous journey. You're faced with new challenges every single day. And there is nobody else to solve them except yourself.
So you have had some dark and desperate days in life, right?
Yes, definitely.
Is there something, do you tell the audience that it's a shared thrill and challenge to be an entrepreneur, and entrepreneurs is not a straight line journey. It got a twist and turn, right?
It has twist and turn, and I think it's something. It's a huge learning experience. I feel like I said, I have corporate experience for more than a decade, but in last 2 years, the amount of I think the worldly wiseness that I have got through entrepreneurship is more than
So what does
anything
this
else.
do in terms of connecting the classroom education to the real world? What does that mean? I don't understand it. Maybe tell the audience.
Great question. So Frank, really what you would see in a traditional classroom, there is a lot of focus on what to do and how to do things. Now that's great, but that's not effective for long-term learning. We also need to know why we are learning what we are learning. Why are you doing this? If you may, I can bring an example.
Sure.
So say you have students in a science classroom and they are learning about Newtonian laws, And
what law?
Newtonian laws
Okay,
of Newton.
Newton's.
Yes, so that's great. They're learning fundamentals, and they now have to solve a problem where they have to find out how to send this rocket into space successfully. So great, you're learning a fundamental, and then you're applying it to solve a question. But why do I need to send a rocket into space? Well, to carry a satellite. Okay, but as a student, why do I care? How does it affect me? Why do I need to send a satellite into space? Well, because it solves problems for communication. So it transmits and sends signals in remote
receives,
areas.
yeah.
So when you are hiking, you can
that
still
means
text.
You ask the questions.
Yes. So
And
basically,
what do
bringing
your company
it.
do to solve that problem?
So what we are doing is we are extending the classroom knowledge. When students are coming to Nova Enrichment Academy, they're able to extend the classroom knowledge and connect it with the real world applications. So like I just gave an example of satellites. So basically the extension is, so they understand the whole gamut of why we need satellites in space, so that if they are hiking, they're still able to text and talk with their friends. Or say if they are...
Which is the gift from the satellite. This is how they do.
This is how, and this is how they are getting invested in this knowledge and learnings.
So do you have to pay for all these things? So students from K through 12 education, so beyond that, also students from community colleges and universities also come there?
Great question. So we have different kind of programs. We cater to elementary, middle, and high school students. And we actually also have a teacher training program where we teach the teachers how to bring STEM implementation into their own classrooms.
What are the challenges do you face in doing something like that? And how do you motivate the kids?
Right. Well, so let me come to the challenges first. So STEM is a very dynamic area. Technology is changing every day. So for us, I think it takes a lot of time, energy to keep up with the technology changes. Once we zoom in to an area, there is no standardization in this field. We actually have to create original curriculum which is applicable to the grade level that we are targeting. So that takes a lot of time. Then to find the resources who are trained and qualified to deliver this kind of curriculum, that's a big challenge. And then last but not the least, to materials. You have to procure materials to implement this curriculum.
So I'm a student. Let's suppose I'm a student in community college in science in Montgomery County, maybe Northern Virginia Community College.
Right.
And why do I want to come to you? I can learn all those things in Montgomery College, and they can explain to me, what do you offer extra things that I do not have in Montgomery College and Northern Virginia Community College?
I think...
and why do they come to you?
Passion.
Passion?
Yeah.
Passion of what?
So the whole team is very passionate about education. I always say this, that we almost have a non-profit viewpoint of bringing a change in education.
So your company is a non-profit?
I'm coming to that.
Okay.
So the viewpoint or the philosophy of the company is more like non-profit, where we really want to bring grassroots level change in education. And I'm not saying that there are not other places which are not doing this, but the way we are doing it is, it's almost a specialized learning center. We are bringing 3-tier quality, as in curriculum, as in delivery of that curriculum, as an infrastructure. We are partnering with academia, with leading companies. We are procuring materials from all around the world.
When you say materials, what that means?
When I say
what
materials,
kind of materials?
Yes, good question. So we are, so say for example, take robotics. Robotics, yeah. So most of the robotics that you will see is in our space is EV3 or VEX robotics, whereas we are getting robots from right from California to actually South Korea.
California, South Korea? And how do you get there? How do you get it from South Korea?
So we are researching
continuously. So why
continuously.
is it going to South Korea?
So just because we want to get variety of what robotics is out there, and that's those are the kinds of offerings at one single space that makes us unique, along with the commitment to make sure that the curriculum associated with those materials are relevant to the age group that we are targeting.
And how much it cost me to be there? if I was a student? A lot of money?
It depends on the workshops. We have different kinds of programs, so that that allows us to cater to different kind of
Okay, so the example that I gave you for Montgomery Community College, I'm a freshman in college. I went to your academy. Do I get any credit that I was not able to get that in Montgomery College and other Virginia Community College?
So we have applied for accreditation.
Okay, you have you're not there quite.
Not there yet.
It takes a while though.
It's 2 years old startup.
It's a long drawn process.
Yes, but we are very committed to quality, and so we have applied for accreditation at the post-secondary, which is the college level.
Yeah, but you haven't told me how much it cost me.
So it doesn't cost you a whole lot if you
Well, that
if you're
depends.
looking
So
for
I'm
value
a student.
for
I'm
money.
really poor, man. I cannot afford to go to school. And that's the two questions. How much it costs me? What do I get that allows me to compete in the marketplace and get a better job?
So, good questions. As far as the cost is concerned, like I said, we have different courses, and honestly, Frank, they range from a couple of $100 to $1,000. So it's a lot of value for money, and we are trying to bring diverse offerings so that we can cater to different kind of demographics, because our intent is to catch them all and impart this knowledge as much as we can. But at the same time, this is a for-profit organization, just because, as you have understood yourself, that procuring all these materials and training instructors cost money, and we need to be nimble and flexible so that
Nimble and flexible.
Yes, because we are changing gears very fast.
Effective.
Yes, so in that realm, it is for profit. But again, because of the diversity in the offerings we have, like I said, we will have courses which are ranging from a couple of $100 to $1,000.
So that's not that bad. But
Yes.
1 semester or 2 semester or for one
So-
course or one training, how that works?
So we have after school workshops, which could be annual workshops.
Okay.
We have monthly workshops.
Okay.
We have summer camps, which could be weekly. We also have specialized boot camps. So based on the topic that we are choosing, the duration, the costs can vary.
So going back to my example of community college from Northern Virginia, Montgomery College, I'm a freshman in college. I came to your school. I got training. I paid $1,000. Now tell me, what have I learned that I can use to get a better job? Mm-hmm. And what your success story has been so far?
So I basically, what happens is, when you come to Nova Enrichment Academy, you are getting hands-on training on high-tech equipment.
So it's a hands-on training, okay.
And
You have the equipment.
We have the equipment, and we have instructors who know how to use
Okay,
it.
okay.
And we make sure that when you're walking out, you really get it. So you have the pertinent skills to make sure that you are
You
successful
got a hands-on
in the job
experience,
market.
that's what you're
Yes,
saying.
yes.
That allows you to tell the employer that I do not only have the experience in the classroom, I'm also experienced out of the classroom. So
Yes,
is
and
that,
you're
is
able
that what
to
you're selling?
Yes, and you're able to apply your learnings into your job world, which is the real world, and then we are actually building problem solvers who can not only connect the dots, they can extend the applications. So the whole intent of the programs is to get the hands-on training, problem solvers, critical thinkers. So we are really building the 21st century skills which are required for success in the job market.
And how do you go about marketing your stuff? Who do you talk to? You talk to your parents, you talk to the school, you talk to college, you talk to the student. How does this work? And so and what's the story do you tell? I'm a kid in a college and I don't know ABCD of anything what you do. How are you going about selling it to me?
Absolutely. So Frank,
And plus
I'm
the fact that I'm not a parent, I don't have any money. So how do you motivate me?
So honestly, Frank, I am myself surprised with the power of word of mouth.
Okay.
I would say that when we started up, at that point, we really had not the followers, but the people who like to explore new things for their students, and the word of mouth has been very strong for us. And parents trust fellow parents. So they trust other parents. So they come to us through strong word of mouth.
So how do you go about convincing the parents who's the one who's going to foot the bill? Do you go talk to them?
So we have a lot of parents are coming to visit us.
Okay.
We want to show them what we offer. Then we also have a lot of community events. We do a lot of free community events
So
as well.
community events means, for example, where do you go to attract the students? Do you go to colleges? Do you go to universities? Do you go
We
to
partner with schools.
Oh, with
We do a
schools.
lot of events with schools. We also host
Elementary school, high school?
elementary schools, middle schools, high schools.
You get them hooked when they're really learning.
Yes.
When they're in elementary school, right?
Yes, because what we see is when we go and show them, things which are relevant to what they're learning in their classroom, and we show them the real world connections, they get very excited and they engage and they want to learn more at that point.
So what has been your success stories?
So I think our success stories, we are fairly new.
How old is your stuff? Is 2 months, 2 years?
It's 2 years old.
Okay, so you do not have a success story that you can say, you know what, this kid that came in from this college, from this university, from this high school, learned this stuff, went back and was able to go to the next high to get a good job. What were the success stories?
So the success stories that I would say for us, what we have seen the major shift is in our elementary school kids. We had a lot of kids. It's very funny, Frank, that when we started doing STEM workshops, especially with the elementary school kids, you're trying to make them problem solvers. But how do you solve a problem if you do not understand the problem? And
that's the first step,
right? And that is the most common problem that we saw. So I think bringing our elementary students to understand what is being asked of them in our STEM workshops, building their core skills of comprehension has been a major success story, where students who have been with us for these last 2 years, now when they come and we throw questions at them or problems, they are really able to dig deeper as to what is being asked of them. So I personally feel that's a very big success story. We see similar thing with our middle school and high schoolers. I see the success story for our high schoolers would be when they are coming to us, we are creating like a robotic system, which was something that the Navy has been doing at their end, and we were able to emulate that with our high schoolers, with our resources, and to be able to go and see in the big convention areas at Washington DC, when you go to a US Navy booth and they have the same robotic system that you made at our your own academy with really PVC pipes from Home Depot. So for us that was a very, very proud moment.
What is the end goal here? In terms of, obviously you're a businessman, you're making money like I did. What is the end goal in terms of the students? What is in it for them? Besides learning the tools, the technology, and obviously one of the selling points that you have is to get them more interested in STEM, which is going to be the future for America and future of the world, as a matter of fact.
Right.
And get them interested in early stages of their life. Is that what your goal is, big picture?
In short, if I have to say, my goal is to have a next generation of creators,
Generations of creators,
and not consumers of technology.
So those are the people who can bridge to the future.
Yes, because what we are seeing is we have students who are hooked on to their iPhones, but they think that Apple is responsible for texting and everything. They have no idea of the whole communication structure or the equipment that goes on behind an iPhone. So just simple thing like that, and so what we need to realize is this world and our lives are becoming more and more high tech. We need to understand not only how does the equipment work, but what really goes into that equipment. They need to know the pros and cons of technology. They are coming into the future where it's information wealthy future, right? They have information from World Wide Web, they have information from text, they have information from social media. How do you filter wheat from chaff? How do you actually process that information and come to the conclusion that this information is actually pertinent for the problem that was posed to me? They will have a lot of solutions in front of them. They won't be coming to the solutions. They need to identify which is the best solution for a given problem.
Okay, so 3 years from now, I sit over here with you, and what would you say your goal is from 3 years from now? 3 years, I said, from now. in terms of your growth of the company, in terms of bringing this technology that you're talking about to the children who are the future for tomorrow, who are the
Right.
hope of tomorrow, and getting them understand the STEM educations and what it's all about. So, and what would you do 3 years from now? Is you going to continue doing what you're doing, and what's your big picture goal is in terms of your business plan?
Right. So we want to bring a grassroots level change in education. The traditional education has its place, definitely. We have, you learn your concepts, you learn your fundamentals there. We are not trying to replace that, but we are trying to extend that.
You're trying to augment it.
Yes, and we are trying to make sure that the education or learnings do not end there. It continues, and the engagement and the fun with learning also continues. So that is, I would say, the philosophy behind it, so that kids know how they can use what they're learning. Now right now we have one location in Ashburn, but the idea is to take it to multiple regions. Franchising could be one option, or we open our own academies locations. That's another option. But the goal is to make sure that this kind of program is available at multiple locations.
Do you get a call from the people from California, which is Silicon Valley, and say, you know what? I got all these kinds of things, technology. I want to get kids hooked on it, and can you help me out? Do you get those kind of calls from them? I mean, to them, it's a pretty good deal that you're trying to
Yes.
expose their product and services to the new generation of the kids.
Right. I think this is a win-win situation for both the innovators of technology, and I would like to call ourselves as maybe messengers of that technology.
You're a facilitator.
Yes. So we have partnered with the people in California, and I always say this. I do not understand why is that there's so much creativity and innovation coming from West Coast and not so much from the East Coast.
Because that's true. Because everybody's trying to emulate Silicon Valley. I'm sure the Virginia is looking for that kind of opportunity. So there's a lot of things that goes in there, but
Right.
University plays a very important role. As you all know, the Stanford has been a breeding ground for creativity and entrepreneurship. That's what Google came to. That's
Right.
where, and the Microsoft came from Harvard. So
Right.
you have to have that kind of institution in order for the students to excel and so on. So you have to have that culture. But thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for
coming
inviting me.
Yeah, sure. This is Frank Islam wishing you a great week, and thank you for watching.